Doctors told him it was impossible for a daughter to walk again. 10 years later, a quiet game between his daughter and the new black maid proved them all wrong. Preston Ulrich had been in enough negotiations to know when his mind was playing tricks on him. But this wasn't a boardroom illusion, and there was no contract to skim for fine print. He was standing in the doorway of his own living room, holding a half-finished cup of coffee from a roadside diner, watching his 10-year-old daughter, his Sophie, standing. Her small hands gripped the couch arm for balance, her knees quivering like a newborn foal's. Her lips were pressed together, eyes locked in a mix of fear and determination. For a second, he didn't breathe, didn't blink, didn't move. The world felt wrong and right at the same time. Sophie had never stood like this. Not once in her life. 10 years of specialists, surgeries, and promises that fell apart in antiseptic-smelling offices had drilled a hard truth into him. She would never walk. And yet, here she was. Across from her, standing just far enough away to give Sophie space, but close enough to step in if needed, was Marvina Holt. The woman he'd hired only months ago to help manage the house. She wasn't a doctor. She wasn't a therapist. She wasn't anyone who'd ever been in the medical files stacked in his study. Marvina didn't say anything at first. She just glanced at him, then back at Sophie, as if silently asking him not to break the spell. Sophie's knuckles whitened as she shifted her weight, her toes curling against the carpet. "Dad!" Sophie's voice was barely above a whisper, strained but steady. Preston swallowed. "I'm here." Her eyes flicked toward him for a heartbeat, and then she looked back down, focusing on her own trembling legs. Preston could see the effort etched into her face, the way her shoulders tensed. He wanted to rush forward, to scoop her into his arms before she fell, but something in Marvina's expression told him to wait. "How long has she—" Preston started, his voice cracking. "A minute," Marvina answered softly. "Maybe more. She wanted to show you herself." His fingers tightened around the coffee cup, the cardboard buckling slightly. He was trying to process what he was seeing, but it was like trying to read in a storm. He thought of the last decade, how every expert in Baltimore and beyond had told him there was nothing more to be done, how he'd stopped hoping for miracles because the disappointment hurt more than the hope itself. But this didn't look like a miracle. It looked like work. Painful, careful work. Work no one had told him was even possible. Sophie wobbled, catching herself with the couch arm, and for a second, Preston felt his heart stop. Marvina took a half step forward, her hands open but not touching. Sophie took a deep breath and straightened again, her chin lifting just slightly, like she was daring the world to tell her she couldn't. Preston's voice was quiet, almost